Today my demo is based on identity service presented by Ramya Ramesh. Let me start by listing out the topics which I'll be presenting today. Firstly, I'll start with the overview of the microservice API and configure the database. Postman, run the microservice jar, authenticate token generation, set token for other APIs, test other APIs in the Postman, analyze the database for the results in the Postman, and how to update the Jira with the results of Postman. These are the topics which I'll be discussing today. So coming with microservice. Firstly, what and how does microservice work? So basically an application, when it is built as an independent component that runs each application process, has a service. So these servers communicate through an interface which is an API gateway. So each microservice is an independent service, and each service has a dedicated database, and the client request is processed by a API gateway, where each microservice is also managed by different teams. Hence there is different technologies and programming languages for different services can also be used. So next I'll go with the overview of the microservice. So let me start with the UI design. So the UI design which I'm working on is identity service, what it contains. There will be a home page, registration page, login page, and a dashboard. This is the GTA Service Platform home page. When the localhost is triggered, this is the sheet it will get open, which has buttons for triggering the registration page and login page. And when the registration button is clicked from the home page, it will redirect to the registration page where the user is allowed to register himself by using his email, password, and giving the necessary role service and register himself. After the registration, the login page will get triggered where the user is allowed to use the same email and the password and created during the registration to log in. Once the login and the encryption process is successful, the user is let into a dashboard of GTA Service Platform. This is the dashboard, how it looks. So functions and services used in identity service is user service, role service, permission service, role permission service, user role service, and change password. These are the services provide certain functionalities in the identity service. So API, application programming interface. In simple words, API, it is an interface which allows the different applications to communicate. It is a general form of definition. API, makes it easier to integrate different software systems and automate workflow. There are three phases of API lifecycle. It is create, control, consume. So create will be a phase where the API is built and documented. A control phase is where the application of security policies will be there, like authentication, authorization, encryption process will take place. And consume phase will be like publishing and monitoring the APIs. Nextly, how does API work? So to explain this, I want you to give you a simple instance. Considering a person visiting a restaurant. So when a person is visiting a restaurant, when the person reaches the restaurant, he becomes a customer over there, and a waiter will approach him by asking what you need. And the person now Now the customer places an order with a waiter, where the waiter collects the order and passes the content of the order to the kitchen. So the kitchen staffs will prepare the meal of whatever the person has ordered and issue it to the pickup. The waiter takes the order and give it back to the customer. So this is the process of example. Now try replacing the customer to be a user, waiter to be a API, and the kitchen to be a web server or external software, and the restaurant to be the web server. Whereas firstly I told the person visits the restaurant, considering it has like a user visiting a web server, and a person place an order with the waiter, where the request from the user is given to the API. So the waiter goes and gives the order to the kitchen, whereas the API goes and gives the request to the web server. And the web server, the kitchen staffs will prepare the food and pass it to the pickup. The same way, web server retrieves the data which is needed and fulfills the request by passing out the results to the API. And the API is delivering whatever is needed to the same platform or like web server or the external application where the user asked for it. This is how the API works with that simple instance. And some of the common HTTP request methods are also there. And Postman is one of the tools to use API. It is a very supportive tool and it is very easier to use. And the common HTTP request methods in Postman are post, get, put, delete. Post is to create, get is to read, put is to update, delete is to delete. And to talk about the Postman, it is an API platform that simplifies every step of an API life cycle, making it easier for the developers to build, test, and use APIs. Nextly, database. So, database is something that which stores, manages, and retrieves data from the application or the users. Let me show you how actually to configure, how I configured the database for the identity service. So firstly, I here created the connection, a new connection by giving a connection name. Name can be anything. Now let me give, it has GTS dev. So because I'm already using it, and I will be giving a password which is created while installing the SQL, which is a common root password, and then clicking OK if the password is correct and the authentication process worked, the connection will be created. Once it is created, it will let you go inside and process. After this, the next step will be to create the schema. So I'll be clicking on the create new schema button and I'll be giving a new schema name. Considering the GTS service, so I'm gonna give GTS service underscore platform underscore DB dev and give apply.
Hello.
Since the schema is already created, I'm not going to create it again, but this is the process of creating schema. So nextly, I as a user created a new connection and created a schema, but this is my database. I need to get connected with GTS server. So I am gonna create a user with all giving you his privileges and connecting to GTS. Here I'll click on administration. In that I'll go to the user and privileges, and here I'll add an account. Whereas login account, I'm gonna give GTS-dev, and the password that will be given by sir, and I will give apply. If the password and it's correct, you will get connected. Then the administrative roles will be everything. These are the privileges which the user, as of me, I can use all these privileges, and these are the roles I can be playing, like DBA, perform all the tasks, everything. These are the roles I am selecting so that I can use it. Then I'll give apply and move on to schema privileges. Here I'll make an entry and select schema whichever I selected. So this is the schema which I created now. So I'll be selecting this and giving OK. Now after this, I'll come back to schema and I will start creating tables.
Hey guys.
Yes, sir.
So I got an urgent call, which I have to attend that. So you carry on with your demo. Once demo is done, and if I am not back, then you guys can carry on with your activities. And once I'm back, then I will let you know when we can meet again.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So guys, for other people, right? Please participate actively, and make sure you are asking questions and discussing. Right? Let it happen like a conversation.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Sure.
Okay, let me continue. So this is the code to create a user table, GTS_user table.
Ramya, once again. Jeevan, you're recording the session. Sir has left the meeting.
Jeevan is not there.
Oh, okay.
I'm recording. Recording will be on. Okay. So I'll not be in the meeting, but recording will be on.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So this is the code. So I'll be copying this code and pasting it in MySQL. So here I am gonna give what are the columns to be given to create the table. Once I run this, all the table, all the columns, whichever I have mentioned, will come here. These are the columns: user ID, user email, user password, user status, login tries, user country code, primary contact validated, email is validated, and login time. These are the columns I wanted this table to have, and these are created. And there are more specifications which I have given, which should be the unique, which should take only unique entries, and which should be the primary key as well. So after creating a table, now I will test APIs in Postman. Before doing that, let me run a microservice. So it is identity service. I am opening a terminal. This is the command to run a service. Actually, for the first time when you're doing it, when you run a microservice, it will ask for certain criteria. Like now I only created a user table according to you guys. It will tell the content missing. It would need certain tables to be created before executing itself. So it will tell missing GTS roles table or missing GTS permission table. So certain tables should be created at that time. Now I have already created whatever the necessity tables are there. That's why it's not telling me anything. Yeah, Tomcat has started in the port 4728. So I can go with the Postman now. And create a user. So I'm giving a user email as ravi@g.com and the password to be ravi@111. So it says user registered successfully. And let me show you how this works. Is my user created? Yeah. The user ID is 53 and the user is created. And I did not give any other details. So everything should be 0. Only the login time is recorded and the user status is recorded as 1 because he's an active user. I will not run all the details. I will just show you certain things where I can redirect to SQL and show you the changes. I want to update a contact number to the same user and show you how it changes. '53 was the user ID. So I'm trying to update this contact. Before doing that, let me show you how to take out authentication token. Because other services to run, we need authentication token. This was the user which I created right now. So let me try logging in. If it passes the authentication, it will generate me a token. It is not generating. .co. So here is the token. And here I'll be placing, I just copied the authentication token and I clicked on update contact. And here I will be placing a token here. So type will be API key because we are giving a key generated in the API. And this is authentication token. And the bearer is something so which lets the token decrypt inside the API. So this was like how to create a token and how to use it to run the other APIs. Here I will try to update the contact number for the user ID 53. So it says the user number updated correctly, like successfully. So it should reflect here. So here is the contact number which I just updated. And also I wanted to show you guys what is the purpose of this. TTS user login tries. I am giving a wrong password purposely to show you how that works. So here it tells, when I give the wrong password, it tells GTS login tries 1 and try another 2 times. So in the table as well, it says 1. I am trying once more. So it says 2. If I try once again with the wrong password, the user gets locked. He is no longer allowed to use this services. But if I give the correct password for the 3rd time, everything gets refreshed. So the same user is given 3 more chances for trying out the wrong passwords. And that's all in Postman. To update it in Jira, as we all learned it recently, I will just give you a so in identity servers, the 6 services which I was talking about are being added, and each one is created and tested, and whatever I felt, I have added it. I showed you how to create a user in the email, and I showed you how to log in, which was working fine, and I showed you this one, which is working fine, but there is a bug, but still I made an entry. That's all is for now. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me.
Thank you too.
Thank you. It was very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have any doubt?
No.
No, you explained it very much in detail.
Thank you. So we can continue with our work, or should we wait for sir?
I think we can continue with the work and stay in the meeting.
Yeah.
I have a presentation for API testing for the same thing. Do I present now or later?
You can do it now, I guess.
Yeah, you can do it now.
Okay, then. Let me start presenting my presentation.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, good morning. This is Bharadwaj. Today my topic is on API testing and APIs and introduction of Postman. Before starting into API testing, first of all, we have to know what are APIs. APIs are kind of bridges that will connect to the various software components. The APIs bridge the gap between two applications, allowing them to exchange information and collaborate efficiently. This facilitates data sharing, service invocation, and seamless integration. And we can simply call it as the connectors to the digital world. First of all, the APIs means application programming interface. This will enable communication and data exchange, as I said. And the API empower diverse applications to collaborate seamless across platforms and organization. This will help to get the request and responses from the web server and the client. How the API works. Here is the pictorial representation of an API. Here you can see the API is the layer between the web app processor and the web server. In between, it will work. It will accept the requests and responses from the web server and will send it to the clients. Why APIs are important? Because APIs are important because it will help to enable developers to leverage existing functionalities and data without reinventing the wheel, boosting development and speed efficiently. This will help to enhance functionality, which will help to work faster, which will help to reusability of the APIs. For every time we need to, we don't need to test each and every request and response from the scratch. We just use one API and we will just test it. And the API contribute to improved user experience by enabling different applications, creating a unified and streamlined integration. And types of APIs. There are three types of APIs. Those are public API, private API, and partner APIs. The public APIs are readily accessible to anyone, offering an open door for developers to explore and integrate various functionalities. Coming to the private APIs, these private APIs are designed for internal consumption within an organization. These APIs ensure secure and controlled access to the valuable data and services. And the third one is partner APIs. These partner APIs are carefully shared with selected partners only. These APIs facilitate collaboration and value creation through the controlled access to specific functionalities and the data. And the main principles that we use in APIs are CRUD methods. These are nothing but the building blocks of API interaction. The API will interact with these four principles. Basically, the CRUD stands for create, retrieve, read, and retrieve. update, and delete. It will representing the fundamental operations of data management. Create means we use it will use to add new data to the source by using the post method. Read means we use to retrieve the existing data from the database. For this, we use the get method. For update, we use to modify the existing data in the resource. For this, we use put method. And the delete, we use if we want to remove data from the database, we use delete method. By using these 4 methods, we can test the APIs. And the status codes. It is also known as the API language. Status codes are numerically responses and returned by the API servers conveying the outcome of the request. The request we made through API, the response we get in status codes. Here are some of the status codes. Like the number that which starts with 200, that means it is success. And the number with start with 300, it is redirection. For that, we need to know that some action is required. If the status code start with 4, then the error is there in client side. If the request, if the response starts with 5 and 500, the error is in server side. These are the main status codes we have to know. An introduction to Postman. Postman is a popular API client service which is offering user-friendly interface for sending requests to API and analyzing responses. There are a lot more tools like Postman available now, but we use Postman because it is freely available and there is no license agreements and all. And the Postman will easily empower you to interact with APIs efficiently. It serves as a comprehensive platform for building requests, analyzing responses, and testing API functionality. And the key features that will include are it will help to use the various methods like get, push, put, post, and delete. And we can set the headers, parameters, and request body content, which we will pass by sending a we can use these parameters for sending a request. And viewing and analyzing responses, headers, status codes, response body. These response viewing is in Postman is very easy. We can use the tags. If you wanted to see the response in HTML or XML or JSON format or raw data, we can watch in any way as we are comfortable. Creating requests in Postman. The process of sending a request is, first of all, we have to enter a complete API endpoint URL. Before testing, we have to enter the complete API. And we have to paste it in Postman. I will show in Postman. Here you can see this here in this place. We have to paste the entire API with endpoint, and we have to select the appropriate HTTP method. If you want to retrieve, we have to use get, and if you want to post it, we have to use post. Like that, we have to select an appropriate method. And headers. If headers are necessary, like if after getting login we have to use update or some person details we have to update, means we have to log in. For that, the header details are required because we have to authorization tokens are required. Parameters. In parameters, including URL parameters, query string parameters are required. For this, the string parameters are required if parameters are used. And the body, if you want to send the data, we have to send it in the body, like in a JSON format or XML format or raw data as we can. sending requests and analyzing responses. Once the request is ready with all the parameters and headers and HTTP method, we will click on the send button to transmit to the API server, and the API servers process the request, and it will display us in status codes. If the status code is 200 means we got success. If the status code is 400 or anything means client server or client error or server error. And the conclusion is API has revolutionized the way of applications collaborate, fostering seamless data exchange. As I said in starting, it will helps to make data exchange integration across the diverse platforms in ecosystems, and it will help to facilitate the data sharing and seamless integration. Now I'll show this in Postman how to test an API. Before testing an API, we have to start the microservice in our system. In my system, the microservice is already running, so I can test now. The microservice is running under 4728 port number, and this is the endpoints of API. This is a put method, means it will update the details, and in this we have to send the information through body. Right now we are sending in JSON format. First I'll post one user. Okay. Here we have sent the details of person email and password. The response is 400 means it shows the message that user email is already exist, because that user email is already in my database, and I'm trying to enter again, so it showed us 400. See, here you can see that the user is already present in our DB. That is why it is showing 400. How to get a token? By successfully logging, we can get a token. With that token, we can do the changes for the person. See, the success code is 200. The message is user login successfully. It means the user is already in my DB and I'm logging for that. And here is the token. This token will help us to make changes further. I'll use it for the role service. In header, we have to keep that token. We'll just change it. Here we try to create an the status code is 201 created. The message is false. It is roles file to attend. I guess this is already added in our DB.
you have to add the token in authorization, right?
In authorization, we are adding to add for every API, but the ultimate thing is we have to add it in header only.
Okay.
In authorization, we can keep for each and everything. We don't need to keep in header. That is why we directly keep an authorization. But in simple way, we can keep it in header itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that specific users token you're using does not have the rights to add the service role. Could that be the issue?
Yeah, maybe. We have to see the body as well. Here the roll number is empty. Yeah, will that be an issue also? Anyway, it will happen for like this. If you want to try, you can try that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Any questions you can ask?
No questions from my side.
No questions.
No questions.
Okay, then let's continue with our work.
Should we stay in this meeting?
That I don't know.
No idea.
Didn't sir said to he will call us if by the time we're not done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we should. Sorry?
We can drop a message in the group that the demo is over.
Yeah, he mentioned that if he's not here by the time demos are done, so he'll call us back again.
Hey guys, I'm back. Are you done with the demo?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Yeah, so I didn't finish. I just wanted to check it. So let's meet again at 12 o'clock. The stand-up
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.